Diane Duquette, I'm the Executive Director of Development here at Cooley Dickinson Hospital. Today we're celebrating our time capsule event and also the 120th anniversary of the hospital. We're putting a time capsule into this new beautiful building that's going out front, and we're also kicking off the campaign, the community portion of our fund drive for this building project. What I'm holding here is a Titanic knee. It is part of our joint center. It'll be going in if you come in and you want a knee replaced or hip replaced. We have a Titanic knee, and this is a sample of it. Other things that are here, there's equipment for laparoscopic surgery that happens in the Kittredge Surgery Center. There's a photo of Cooley Dickinson. There are some letters from Dr. Merzbach, who delivered babies here, over 10,000 babies quite some while ago, and some people have sent their mementos. We also have a second grade class who gave us drawings of the hospital and healthcare and have put that together for us. There's all that, and our employees have gotten very excited. They've pulled things from all the different departments.
My business is speaking, and many a person comes to me when they were getting ready for
Did I do okay?
You were so fantastic. I thought to myself, wow, I never would have made any money from her. You just know how to do it.
Were you a graduate of Amherst? Were you a graduate? I think Chili's, that's the tour number. Yeah, and so they... It really is. It's very clever. I've always heard to buckle up or drive safely. But don't give it up. This is all of the stuff that's going destroyed. Where's our stuff?
How much I realize. One thing that I know.
Hi. If you can hear me, clap your hands once. If you can hear me, clap your hands twice. If you can hear me, clap your hands 3 times. Thank you very much. I'd really like to welcome you to Cooley Dickinson Hospital, the 120th anniversary of Cooley Dickinson Hospital. And it's kind of an auspicious occasion just in terms of the number of years we've seen, but it's also a time to look forward. And in that context, we have a time capsule that we'll be putting together with a few interesting items, and we'll be then advancing that into the future along with a few other things for whoever opens it in, let's see, 2036, which will be our 150th anniversary. So you're all invited back to join me in opening the time capsule at that time. Would like to just recognize a couple of people who are here, including Mayor of Northampton, Mayor Higgins, right up here in front. And also Mayor Michael Pausnick, who is right next to her in the best tie in the room. And I think we'll be shortly joined by Larry Schaefer, who's the Amherst town manager, and we're sort of getting going without him, but hoping that he'll be able to join us and greet you all as well. To get started, though, I'd like to begin by asking Becky Jones if she would come forward for an invocation. Becky? Did I time this just perfectly so she wouldn't be right here? Oh, there you are.
I just forgot I had something in my pocket.
Okay. Hang on one sec.
So welcome all. It seems that often it's a chilly or a rainy day, and I feel lucky that we are just chilly today. So as you can see, we've traveled a huge distance since our first groundbreaking ceremony well over a year ago, when the parking lot was painted in multicolors with just the footprint of this building, and now it looms big, huge behind us. And I want to start by just thanking the Development Office for thinking of such creative ways for us to participate in this project. I'm remembering the tree topping ceremony when we got to sign our names, and so we have a presence in the building because we signed on a huge card that is now on the beam, on one of the beams in the building. And recently there was a cornerstone put into place, and today we're marking the 120th anniversary with this time capsule. So you're going to hear some history about the building, and I think you're going to hear some updates about our capital campaign. But what I'd like to do, as always, is to remind us of why we're here today, the underlying spirit of caring and generosity and vision that prompted this building and prompted us to want to be a state-of-the-art community hospital that can deliver great care here. And we're certainly no longer the quaint hospital that's pictured on the invitation, the beautiful old building here, but I hope that we continue to be the same kind of old-fashioned community hospital that really cares for its patients no matter where they are in the hospital, as if they were our family and friends, because usually they are our family and friends, and sometimes even ourselves. And when this capsule is opened 30 years from now, what I hope is that we see beyond the things that are in it. We'll see comparisons about the advances in technology and the changes of geography of the hospital, but what I hope that we see is that our caring has not changed, and that maybe, in fact, our caring has deepened, that we have become more caring, more spontaneous in our caring, and more open-hearted even. And I hope that we also discover that our staff here continues to be a great staff that's full of caring, longevity of service here, and generosity and creativity. So that's really my job, is just to remind us of that caring that underlies all that we're doing. I also want to add one item to our capsule, and that is a little, what I call a beanie star. The woman who makes them calls it a comfort star. And I saw one years ago. It was a beautiful purple star, and I bought it just because I liked it. And soon after that, though, I started my own intense medical adventure, and I took it with me everywhere I went. And its small little heft reminded me along the way of what was important. It reminded me of all the love that's in my life, all the noise that surrounds us. It caused me to stop and just take stock in a way. And so I brought the idea to the hospital, and for years now I've been buying small numbers of these stars and giving them on occasion to patients or families, and hoping that the star would work some of its magic on them. So most of the stars have a little flower or dragonfly or stars on them, and only one have I seen with this, with a little clock, a little cuckoo clock. And so, of course, this was the one that had to go into the time capsule for me. What I'd like to do is sort of a symbolic thing, and I'd like to pass the star around among us so that each one of you can feel its heft and can put into the star, which will go into the time capsule, your care and your hopes for what this hospital can be for the community as we grow and get bigger and hopefully more caring. So thank you for your presence here, for your caring, and for the generosity of your spirit. Thanks.
Cooley Dickinson officially opened our doors on New Year's Day in 1886, and Miss Emma Castle, who was a graduate of New Haven Hospital, served as the matron. She was assisted by one full-time person and another on call when necessary. And the building accommodated 12 patients, which would not fit the nurse staffing ratios that I've been hearing about. And we did have an operating room. We had a washroom and a doctor's room, a dining room, a kitchen parlor, and a matron's room. And we were heated with steam radiators, and we were equipped with in an up-to-date manner with drop gas lights and hot and cold running water. So this was state-of-the-art at the time. Today our vision is similar to that of our founder. We're committed to delivering care to the sick, to providing tender care and special treatment to those we are privileged to serve. Some things, however, have changed drastically. The facilities and the staffing are quite different. Today we have a 125-bed hospital. We have 5 operating rooms. The doctor's room is a bit larger, and it has electric lights. The matrons have been replaced by nurses, and we currently have 403 nurses on staff. We have up-to-date technology and equipment, and we use wood chips to heat and cool our buildings. And soon all of that will change. In April of 2007, not very far from now, when our new building opens, we'll increase our bed capacity to 136, and we won't have any more 3 or 4 bedrooms. Our lab staff will now work in a modern, spacious environment, not in a building that was built not last century, but the century before. And they'll leave that current space, and we will increase the size of our joint center to take care of our generation, people who are needing hip and knee replacements, so that all of us can be young and active, and all of us can walk here 30 years from now to open the time capsule. We'll continue to have to stay in step with technology, and that's what allows us to provide quality care along with all the terrific people who really are the ones who provide and make sure we provide that care, and I expect we'll be doing it efficiently. There is a question of how we're going to be doing it, and I guess I want to share that with you because we've talked a bit about this within Cooley Dickinson and are talking now more publicly about it, but we see it as our role to be a model community hospital, and by model I mean for the nation. And that carries with it a few special responsibilities. The first one is to provide absolutely the best care possible for everyone in this community. That's sort of where it starts. The second is that the nation and how we approach care, people don't know yet how to provide absolutely the best care possible, and so we intend to be at the cutting edge in figuring that out. And third, because we'll have figured it out, we intend to help others to learn from what it is that we do, much as we're learning from some others in healthcare, so that together as a field we provide the best care for the nation. So in setting ourselves up as a model is to provide the best here and to help the nation to provide the best of care. It's just a mild little objective, but in fact we're on our way. We did actually recently have a visit from the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. That's the scary organization that comes in once every year and a half or 3 years, always unannounced now, to let us know how we're doing. And this time around when they came through, it wasn't scary at all. The hospital has already embarked on this path that I was describing of model level care. And when Joint Commission came, I said to them at the start, you're really going to like Cooley Dickinson Hospital, we're going to be a model community hospital and so on. And under their breath, they didn't say it, but you could hear it, was, yeah, we hear that from every other hospital that we visit. It wasn't until maybe the second day that they began to look at us a bit differently. And by the third day, the comments that they were making about Cooley Dickinson are, you already are a model hospital based on all the hospitals that we survey. This is the first hospital we've ever visited where all of the national measures that you submit on quality are higher than average. It's the first place we've seen where there's such collaboration to advance care. And we said to them, thank you very much, but we're not done. We have a lot to do. And they said, yeah, you do. We agree with you, but we think you're really on that path, and we congratulate you for that. But we actually would ourselves be happy to be patients at Cooley Dickinson Hospital. Kind of fun to get that response from the people who come to accredit you. The one thing that they actually did critique was how crowded we were and lack of privacy and a few other things that are really addressed by that building that's moving right next door to where I'm standing right now and where you're sitting right now. And that is actually made possible by a lot of you. And that's happening through a Caring for the Future campaign. And so what I'd like to do is to introduce Bill Stapleton and David Scott, who are the co-chairs for that campaign, to tell you a little bit about the campaign. What I tell you about the hospital is we will finally have enough patient rooms, at least for a while. We will have enough operating rooms. We'll have 6 and availability of getting up to 8, all of them much larger than we currently have. We will have that new laboratory. We will have the new joint replacement center, and we will be advancing way into the 21st century, yet it's very early in the 21st century. So with that, if I could bring Bill and David up, please. Thank you.
So Bill and I co-chair the campaign, and we also co-anchor these little updates. I guess this is the 5th one that we've done now. So as I was on my way over here today, serendipitously and synchronistically, I saw this huge billboard along the side of the road, and it had this message on it: do good, feel good. Well, apart from the syntactical license that is contained in that statement, it's actually, I thought, a very good statement to describe what we're doing with this whole project, and also what we're doing here today. It's a kind of variation on the slogan that's often used in campaigns, which is, don't give until it hurts, give until it feels good. Well, we're very happy to say that since our last gathering here together for the Cornerstone event in May, there are several individuals and organizations who have done real good, to give more syntactical license. And as a result of that, I think we can all feel very good today about everything that is happening. I'd like just to recognize some of the people and organizations who have made these major contributions since our last gathering. And some of them have representatives here and some not. But let me begin with Fred and Gloria Vazian, who have funded the nursing orientation program. So please recognize them. They're here today. Please stand and be recognized. Okay, thank you very much. The Bank of Western Massachusetts, represented by Donna Davis Speaks. Bar and Bar Incorporated, represented by several people, I think, but Bill Quadro, I know, is here. Let's thank them. And Lucy Wilson Benson, who has named the control room in memory of her spouse, Bruce Benson. Also, Raymond Hull Construction, who is represented today by Dan Moore. Then a few others who do not have representatives here, I don't think, and that is Amherst College, the Frank Stanley Beveridge Foundation, the Alexander Borowski Insurance, and the Freedom Credit Union. So let's thank all of them again. So their contributions and many other contributions, we're happy to say, have moved us to $7.4 million of our $10.8 million goal. So thanks again to all who have made this possible. Now, in addition, today we're actually officially launching a new component of the campaign, which is the community division. And for the remaining 12 months, it's almost exactly 12 months now till the end of the campaign, we invite all members of our community to join us. And together we will all feel good as we build a better community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David. In a moment, David's going to come back just to wrap this up. But as you may remember reading in the newspaper, last June, Cooley Dickinson Hospital received word that the hospital had received a $900,000 challenge grant from the Kresge Foundation. And I want to tell you a little bit about that particular award because it was a pivotal award for the hospital and for this campaign. The Kresge Foundation is a national foundation that builds stronger nonprofit organizations by catalyzing their growth, helping them to connect with their stakeholders, and challenging them with grants that leverage even greater support. Simply to apply for the Kresge Foundation grant requires a rigorous application and review process on the part of the hospital, and the staff put an enormous amount of time and effort into this very successfully. To qualify for the grant, the hospital had to establish both the quality of its services and the strength of its financial management, which they have done in spades. The hospital had also to prove that it could draw upon broad community support for fundraising campaigns rather than relying just on a few large donors. The $900,000 Kresge Challenge Grant is among the 5 largest that the Kresge Foundation has made to hospitals in Massachusetts, and it is a powerful vote of confidence in Cooley Dickinson Hospital. The other hospitals include Boston Medical Center, Massachusetts General, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, and Children's Hospital, just to give you an idea of the company we're keeping. Victor, you want to introduce?
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, we're really at a pivotal point in the campaign now. Actually, I think we say that on each of the gatherings that we've had, but this is another pivotal point in the campaign. Because in order to receive that $900,000 that Bill just mentioned from the Kresge Foundation, we need to actually raise $3.4 million in the next 12 months. That $3.4 million is the difference between the 10.8 and the 7.4 that we've already raised. Now, it's all or nothing. If we don't raise that amount of money, the $900,000 disappears. If we raise that amount of money, we get that money plus the $900,000. So not one of us can blink from now on. So we all need to do good in the next 12 months. And I can assure you that we will all feel very good about what the outcome of that campaign and this incredible project and this incredible community hospital will be. Thank you very much. Well, regarding that community component of the campaign, I'm now very pleased to introduce Paul Kelleher. He's a former partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers, and he serves as the chairperson of the community division of the campaign. Please welcome Paul Kelleher.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Bill. I feel absolutely no pressure. But I do want to say initially thank you. I do appreciate the opportunity to chair the community division for this campaign. I think that it's a campaign that over the course of the next year I feel very confident that the community will respond to and respond to very well. As David and Bill had mentioned, much has been accomplished already, but much still does need to be done. I'm very fortunate that in reaching the challenge that we have, and within the community division, we have a remaining challenge of $2.5 million. I'm joined in this effort by a number of other people from the communities, and I'd like to take just a moment. Some of them are here, some of them are not. Those of you who are here, if you could just stand so that people would know who you are and acknowledge you. But let me just give you a sense, as I introduce these people, how broad we view this word community when it relates to Cooley Dickinson Hospital. First, from Amherst, we have Tom O'Brien, and I know Tom's here. Tom serves with Tiny Sawicki from Amherst as co-chairs in Amherst, along with Dick Matthews. I don't know if Tiny or Dick are here. No. In East Hampton, we have Tom Brown and Stan Palauskas, who've agreed to join this committee. Stan and Tom not here. And in Northampton, my co-chair for Northampton is Matt Petoniak. But we're joined by Marcia Burek, Bob Seluzniak, I saw Bob, Bruce Vogel, Rob Ostberg, Jim Segalin, Kay Sheehan, who I know is here, and Eva Thompson. So our core group at this stage consists of 14 people who have enthusiastically and energetically agreed to serve and help the hospital in this community division. Now, I think our message is, in essence, quite a simple one. This is our hospital. Everyone in the community that it serves is touched either directly by service here on the campus, or indirectly by the care that's provided by the caregivers and the high quality of physicians, nurses, and staff that a modern institution like Cooley Dickinson can attract. And so, simply put, an investment in the hospital is an investment, first of all, in ourselves, our loved ones, our friends, our neighbors. And when viewed from that perspective, I am tremendously confident that the goal that we've set for ourselves in the community division can be reached, and even I would challenge our group of volunteers to exceed it, but at least reach it. Thank you very much, and I think, Craig, you have a few more remarks? Thank you all.
We're moving now to the time capsule, and we would like to acknowledge and thank the Harding Industries who donated the container that we're using for the time capsule. I'm told it's one that it can actually absorb the shock of being dropped from a helicopter down onto the ground, and so we're not going to do that. Nonetheless, just to be extra sure that it is secure and stays not violated at all and nothing creeps into it and it's protected for 30 years, Harding Industries has also agreed to seal it after this event so that it is protected and really will have all the things we're going to put into it today. And so we will be opening it in 2036, and that will be our 150th anniversary. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to view some of the contents that are displayed on the table as you arrive. All but Caleb Cooley Dickinson's cane are going in there. That's over on that table. And then there's some other items that are in there, and I'll just, in case you didn't recognize them, let me just tell you what some of them were. One was a piece of tile from one of our operating rooms. It's that sort of 60s vintage green color that hospitals used to be. There's some photos of the space that the lab currently occupies, because that space is too old, right, Shirley? Yes. Right, Pam? Yes. Let's see, technical talk. Ephemeral component of a total knee replacement from our joint center. That's this sort of metal thing that sits about here. Did I do that right? Anyone clinical? Did I get that about right? Yeah, okay. Then there's a list of 175 Cooley Dickinson Hospital volunteers who are a vital part of our hospital. Our volunteers range in age from 15 to 92, and you all are invited back for the opening in 30 years. There is a laparoscopic surgical instrument. There's a film from radiology. We tend to think that film will probably not be in place 30 years from now. There's a hospice scarf, and if you don't know, proceeds from the sale of those scarves support the hospice program at VNA and Hospice of Cooley Dickinson. There's a town report from Plainfield. There's a handwritten letter from Dr. Peter Merzbach to a member of our community, Kathleen Sachoki, dated December 22nd, 1988. And if you take a look, you can actually read the letter. It gives you a true sense of the caring physician that Dr. Merzbach was and why so many of the people in our community were happy to have been delivered by him if you were one of the over 10,000 who were in that group. Oh, and then it says I'm supposed to put a tie. When I was wearing this a little while ago, Dr. Avazian said, I don't like the looks of the health of the bears that are apparently on here. And he didn't know how right he was because we're about to bury the bears here. And there is also a letter from me to my successor 30 years from now, which none of us get to read, except for the person who will open it 30 years from now. So to hear and see what it is that I've said, you're going to have to be here to join that person and me to open this up. And there are a few other things that are going to go into the time capsule, and they're actually coming from 3 different parts of our community. And so I'm going to start with Larry Schaefer, the Amherst town manager. Welcome.
Good afternoon, friends. My name is Larry Schaefer, and I'm the Amherst town manager, and it's an absolute delight to be here. I have a number of gifts from our town to your institution. The first and most important, of course, is a copy of a poem written by Emily Dickinson from our library and our archives, along with her picture. We think that she represents as completely as anybody the very heart and soul of our community, and to have her with us, and she is with us and she lives with us forever in her works, but to have her in the time capsule we think is particularly important. I also have some badges and memorabilia from the Amherst Fire Department. There is a very special relationship between our fire safety and ambulance division and this fine institution, one that we deeply appreciate and respect. Congratulations to this institution. We look forward to having a splendid relationship with you well into the future. Thank you very much.
Gee, it looks like Mayor Michael Tosnick from East Hampton also has a few things for us.
Yeah, this was kind of a difficult decision, partly because I've never put anything into a time capsule before, and you can't have my tie. A few pieces, and they have some meanings. This is a key to the city of East Hampton, a symbolic key. It's sort of representative of the first key to our town hall built in 1869. And it's also, I think, a message to the CEO that we are open for business. And as you look at your expansions in the future, please consider East Hampton. I was looking for something that might cause some difficulty when this capsule was opened, and I looked at my computer and I said, geez, a CD-ROM. Now that would be interesting, because in 30 years, I don't know if we'll be using these either. So we loaded the CD-ROM with the city's charter, some comparative information about the community, and a couple of spreadsheets, including the current fiscal year's budget, in case anyone's interested in that sort of thing. And then I called the Chamber of Commerce, because the Chamber of Commerce in my community is pretty active, as they are in Northampton and elsewhere. But we also have a really close relationship, and they were extremely pleased because, well, you know, Chambers of Commerce publish these booklets about membership and what kind of services are available. Well, the entire back cover is Cooley Dickinson Hospital, so we thought that was rather appropriate. A little bit of further information about East Hampton, a brochure that's produced by my Chamber of Commerce, and it has a lot of information about the community. I especially like it because it shows a couple of things that we're very proud of. One is the Eastworks building, which many of you may remember as Stanley Home Products. It is the key to our future success in my community, and it is an interesting picture because it's behind it is a picture of the town hall that this key symbolizes, and our downtown. And finally, just in case the CEO of Cooley Dickinson in 2036 doesn't really know where East Hampton is, a community map. I want to issue congratulations and our sincere best wishes on behalf of my citizens. I use this hospital. I'm proud of this hospital. It is our community hospital, and I think this is a wonderful addition. Thank you.
Thank you. As to the tie, I didn't want it for the time capsule, I wanted it for me. Anybody who knows me, I love terrific ties, and he happens to be wearing one. As to expansion in East Hampton, let's talk. And as to the map, I do know how to get there, so it's fine to keep that in the time capsule. Third, in our of the major communities that are putting additional information and things into the time capsule is Mayor Claire Higgins here of Northampton. Claire?
Wow, CD-ROMs and all this great stuff. I'm not nearly as equipped here today, but it did strike me as I was listening to Craig talk earlier that the city of Northampton is very grateful to the town of Hatfield for the founder of Cooley Dickinson Hospital and the founder of Smith College, two important institutions in our community. And I'm not sure Hatfield necessarily wanted to see them go, but we're happy to have them here. So I brought up a certificate of appreciation in gratitude for the outstanding commitment to the people of Northampton and our neighboring communities, and in celebration of Cooley Dickinson's 120th anniversary on the occasion of a significant expansion of the hospital's building and services, presented this 29th day of September 2006. I brought, in case you will recognize this, these are everywhere you go in the city of Northampton, decals from our 350th anniversary. And when this time capsule is open, there will be only 18 more years till the 400th anniversary. And those who plan the 350th will encourage those folks to start planning early. And finally, this is in memory of all the folks that worked in this hospital, really the women who have cared right from back to the first matron, who cared for folks here, and folks, those women who cared for the citizens of the Pioneer Valley now for over a century. This is a mug that says Northampton, where the coffee is strong and so are the women. We're thrilled to have the Cooley Dickinson Hospital here in the city of Northampton. an important part of our caring community.
Now, while Mayor Higgins was speaking, I was trying to take the tie off of Mayor Tesla, and I failed. So I did bring a substitute, which you can check out as we go. I do want to thank all of you. Those are actually quite meaningful in terms of our Dickinson distant relative and key to the city and the mugshot from Northampton, among others. Truly memorable items that people will ask questions about and wonder about come 2036 and probably look back fondly at this day. At this point, I'd just like to thank all of you. You are our community. We could not be doing this without you. But in terms of doing what, there's the question of what does the building look like. And so what we'd like to do is to invite you to go on tour of the building. And to facilitate that, what I'd say is, as you're coming in, you were given a number, or it's on your little brochure, and the numbers 1, 2, and 3. For that group, if you'll look to your left, you'll find a tour guide located there. I see the 1 and the 2. Where's the 3? Oh, there's the 3. Okay. Thank you, Jared. So any of you who have a 1, 2, or 3, please join your tour leader. If your number is 4 or higher, we all get to have refreshments until tour groups 1, 2, and 3 have gone through. Let's see. I think that covers us. Thank you very much.
I thought it was okay. Hey, hello. We're so glad that you've taken this on. Yeah, the only thing that I was surprised, well, I'll catch you a little bit.